The Sundering is presented in more detail in the Final Fantasy XIV crossover with NieR Reincarnation. NieR producer Yosuke Saito said Ishikawa was given full freedom to write the story.
Pitiful moaning of malformed creatures. They can no longer shape words. Language, culture, knowledge, forgotten.
Malformed creatures thrashing blindly about. Pitiful, disturbing, depressing.
This sentiment is repeated yet again in the quote from Emmet's memory crystal, which reads, "Gone is the brilliant radiance of life, replaced by the sickly glow of malformed creatures." Contrast this with how his gifted vision sees the world unsundered as described in the short story through his eyes. What he beheld was the ether that comprised all things, radiating life. From the depths of the land to the heights of the firmament, its light shone bright. The Sundering didn't create life, it defiled it in a way Venat's brethren likely would have considered unconscionable. People assume the Sundering made less etherically dense carbon copies of everyone based on Emmet's demonstration with Rein and the Ocular. However, this couldn't be the case because the Sundered races are the reincarnations of the Ancients, who aren't identical to them, and it was confirmed in the lore Q&A after the Sundering mankind was incomplete and had to evolve into the races we know of today, as NieR depicts. The Sundered are also small in size compared to the Ancients to reflect their diminished state. Had Emmet shown the true effects of the Sundering, the copy of Rein he made as an example should have been half the height of the original. The fact Emmet cannot understand the newly sundered with the echo indicates it's not merely the loss of language, but loss of intellect. You can't turn on the soul's auto-translate if there's nothing to translate. Language requires knowledge. Even Kryle's echo, sensitive as it is, doesn't allow her to understand animals, suggesting the Sundered had effectively been reduced to a similar state. This is also supported by the lost little troll quest in Labyrinthos. Shaggles is said to possess remarkable intelligence, with him saying due to our echo, we can understand his general sentiments, despite him being physically incapable of speech. Emmet says in addition to the soul, all aspects are reduced. The full Sundering, 1/14, would have left people with approximately 7% of their original attributes, a substantial de-evolution. Assuming mankind was degraded to physical and mental infancy in terms of development, combined with the Encyclopedia Eorzea Volume 1 suggesting early humanity was scattered tribes, despite the surviving ancients living in the metropolis of Amarot, large-scale death becomes implicit. As it says in NieR, in the simplest ways, they die and die. It brings to mind the Oregon Trail video game, where the manners of death included, but were not limited to, inclement weather, animal attacks, starvation, illness, and injuries. According to the wiki, the first astral era is thought of as the dawn of mankind, and considered to be a time of primitivity when the only goal was to survive. No written history exists, but historians have recovered stone tools and cave paintings from the time, which could explain Kitana Ravel, since anthropologists believe painting predates complex speech. Continued in the NieR narration, it's centuries before they speak in new tongues, worship new gods, and they can barely comprehend magic. It's not until the second umbral era that the first forms of magic are believed to have been born from human prayers.